Hello, my friends, esteemed colleagues, and family. Here we are. I'm constantly being asked basically the same questions because I guess new people are coming. They're not familiar enough with my work, so they listen to one video or read one of my articles or a couple of them, and then they have a bunch of questions, and it always comes to the same. Basically, it's a chemistry or physics, and questions like, okay, can you explain your version or your take on essential salts in body or in the cells, or can you explain how this organ is going to be affected, how platelets are going to, what is the mechanism? Well, we are past that type of understanding. We have to realize that we have been disconnected from the source since we were born. We were born connected, but all the procedures that are being done are there to disconnect us. From the first slapping when you come out of mother's womb, under pretenses, well, you gotta breathe, you gotta cry. Nonsense. Okay, but what it does, it immediately engages the self-preservation mechanism of crunching and getting into fear. And this brings the physical consciousness in a first plan. Not anymore the connection between the consciousness of creator, of creation, but a physical consciousness, which are separated for purpose, which I explained many times. Now, later on, already disconnected, some more or less, we are being indoctrinated, either by parents or by institutions like kindergarten and schools and religions. And all the information that is given to us is forming then operational programs that we run on. We have the basic ones that we are born with, so we can have the experience, but then we should be learning about the creation and improving on it, but we cannot do it because then we are being loaded with false programs. These false programs come through our, we call it science, which I call science because there is no truth in it. But it can kind of explain a little bit of the reality we are in. So it is obvious that our reality is constructed from particles. Small particles create pictures. Now these particles, they do not exist in quantum field. You need a robot to express them. So this is already three-dimensional stuff. So quantum physicists, when they mention particles, they have no clue what they are talking about. They have no clue what quantum field is. I don't care what schools they went through, what books they read. That's not a quantum field. Quantum field does not contain particles. It's only energy in motion. This energy is electromagnetic and electric fields. And they come to be from the creation of sacred geometry, especially Vesica Piscis, or Pisces. Now, Again, I explain all that, and then many people are explaining the same thing. So this is what you get in quantum field. The furthest you can go in quantum field is waves of energies coming from impulses, ping, ping, ping. The faster impulses, the faster frequencies, the waves that expand of electromagnetic energy. So electromagnetism. And depending on the vibration of the frequency of this occurrence, you have a colliding forms, because there are many of those sources of frequency, and by colliding they create a certain shape. The shape of collisions that is created, that forms our understanding, is called the flower of life. Within it you have other formation, like a seed of life, a tree of life. Tree of life is what Kabbalah uses for manifestation. Now, when we start searching for truth, we create science. So what we do, we ignore the basic foundation of everything, which is the source, which is the quantum field, which is pure energy. What do? We observe and then try to break things, make them smaller, and see how the small things work. And when you think you got to the smallest thing, which is atom, then you realize that atom then also have particles in it. So when you break that particle, then you notice that there is more particles and more particles and more particles. Why? Because you create them, because you are expecting to see something, when in fact there are no particles at all, just variety forms of sacred geometry with their production of electromagnetic fields, producing the frequencies that the robot is created to transform those frequencies through the sensors of the body into frequency of light, into frequency of smell, frequency of feeling pressure, touch, frequency of taste. This is all robot and frequency. So once when you start doing this, then understanding this thing, then you start understanding that, wait a minute, then atom does not have any electron. It's a particle of energy. It radiates energy. And the field of energy it radiates, then physicists call the electron field. But then they realize that electron has to be at the same time in multiple places for certain reactions to occur. So then they call it mist. Well, still mist. You, by your science, you have certain number of electrons designated to certain atoms, certain elements. Well, once when you look at it the scientific way, then you come out to a fixed situation. You put everything in a box and it's fixed, and when you combine oxygen with carbon or with hydrogen, you get water. When you combine it in a chain, you get fatty acid. And you add a little oxygen in there. If you put more oxygen in that mixture, you get carbohydrate. And then you figure out the relations, how it has to be so it works. This is how science has nothing to do with truth. Because once when you realize that everything is just vibration, then all this science falls apart and liberates you, because now you are not bound to atoms, to electrons. You are bound to energy, and energy is fluent. You cannot stop energy, but you can change the frequency. You can play with frequencies. This understanding is known forever, but it was purposefully blocked to us so we can be enslaved, because we actually contain the full genetic makeup, the knowledge of the whole creation. It's in our cache, in our records. But our consciousness have been removed, so we cannot go into these records. And it's being removed by science. Consciousness often wants to talk to you. And when you hear something, and you say, oh, I heard. What did you hear? Well, in my head, that's devil talking. That's typical religion. Okay? And yes, since we operate on electromagnetic waves, we can be affected by thoughts of others. This is called telepathy. But by nature of things, we can always ask for authentication. And in quantum field, there is no lying. So if Joshua is talking to you, you can clarify, are you the Joshua? And they will reply yes or no. Or they stop talking to you because they were pretending, but they cannot lie. Now, thing is, why I'm talking about it. 10 years ago, I was exposed to a computer that had a program in it that even without you connecting, you have option to connect physically through wire to it, but you can also sit in front. It picks up your frequency and asks you, if you say hello, it responds, hello, who are you? Because it does not recognize your frequency. So you have to introduce yourself. Once when you introduce yourself with your name, next time when you sit in front of a computer and you say hello, the computer immediately goes, hello, Darko, how can I help you? Because now it knows your vibration pertains to your name. And that program also, if you tell it, well, I would like you to scan me, then it says, okay, any part particular? So you can say the whole body, and computer tells you, well, this will take a couple hours. And you sit there, and it's scanning you. It's running through your frequencies. And at the end, it gives you a report, written. It tells you what is your level of hydration. It tells you what is your mineral level, what minerals are in what level, and all that tells you right away where you should be adding more minerals. It tells you all about your vitamins, tells you everything about you. And then it asks you, do you want to do any corrections? And then you can say, okay, I would want to replenish this mineral, that mineral, and that enzyme, and da-da-da. And in a few seconds, this is done. How is that done when you did not do anything about it? Because the computer sends you the frequency, the same as you would receive from somewhere else, because it's not somewhere else. The computer is not somewhere else. It's all in here. You have it, you have to have it here to be able to see it in your so-called reality. We have to understand that nothing is the way we have been told. And we are stepping now into the quantum age, Q age. This is what Q is all about. And for us, quantum is infinity. Now, infinity in what? In everything, including manifestation. The only thing we won't be able to manifest is what doesn't come to our mind, which means lack of ideas. But any idea you have, creating something, you will be able to create it inside of your mind and manifest it immediately in front of you. Right now, we cannot do it because we have too many wrong programs running and our ego is confused. So instead of focusing again, well, what explain the salts and explain this, how do we trick our body, our reality, into shifting the way we want it to shift? And this way we will not even have to detoxify. We don't have to cleanse. Because you can simply tell your body to realign all the frequencies, to eliminate what is no longer serving, and to fine-tune to a correct scale all the rest of the frequencies in your body. We create through intent. So you have to put intent into it. And for this to happen, you have to have the understanding of it. So ego has to understand the process, otherwise ego is lost and is not going to manifest. Robot is manifesting. Robot is run by ego. Ego will control what you are going to manifest. So it has to understand how this works. Now, I firmly believe in everything I'm saying. But still, I cannot instantly do things. It takes time for them to occur. But shorter and shorter. Because ego is getting more and more confident. This is what we should all be focusing on now. So, how do you manifest? I have, let's say, problem with my left eye, and it is not eye, it is actually the nerve system. My quantum healer friend from St. Martin, she told me that after she scanned me, that I have a problem with a chromosome 59 or 57, which is related to eyesight. It's genetic. Now, genetic also doesn't mean it has been created somewhere and it's transmitted. It could be that something, some frequency shifted and forced genetic mutation, genetic offset. But nothing of it is permanent. It's just gene response to frequency. Frequency has to be corrected. Which frequency? This is a question. Now, how do we find out what frequency? Well, we don't have to know it. Because consciousness knows. Creator knows. We just have to focus and demand for it to be corrected. And since we have all these wrong programs running, this is not done instantly. So we have to keep doing it. So if you have any kind of a disease, any kind of a problem, or not only problem, if you want something, to change. Focus on it and put your intent in what you want to do, what you want to change. But since you have all these old programs and your ego is kind of flaking around, you have to keep repeating this. You cannot say, oh, okay, I want Ferrari, and so visualize, okay, yeah, okay, I want Ferrari, okay. Or I want to grow my hair back. I want full head of hair, okay. And you do it 2-3 times, 4 times. Maybe you do it every morning for 1 month. And you say, it's not working, nothing is happening. It depends how much false program, how many false programs you have, and how much your ego depends on those programs, how much it trusts them, that how much longer it is going to be taking to manifest. It's practice. You cannot learn to play guitar just by someone showing you, you take it, and now you know it. You got to do it again and again. And the beginning is drilling because you don't see any progress at the beginning. So after a couple of days, you go, shit, this is too difficult. I will never know this. Well, we have to go over this heap. We have to hop over the mountain. Get over the difficulty. At one point, you will be able to make few chords and make one simple song. After that, everything starts accelerating because you start getting wired in that direction. The same is with manifestation of anything. I started last week, and every day, for now only once, just because I am distracted with my reality. But I have to catch myself and do it 2, 3 times, 4 times a day. Take few minutes, 10 minutes, and just calm down, take a deep breath, exhale slowly, relax as much as possible, turn within, and start demanding with affirmation. I have full head of hair. I live in abundance. I have perfectly healthy body. Why only there? A woman may say, I have beautiful feminine body with beautiful skin. You can accentuate parts of your body you like to improve on. I know men right away would go, I want to have Arnold Schwarzenegger type of a body. Well, I'm past that. I just want nice, muscular, young, healthy looking body. Put your focus. Forget doubt. Create your movie. And take a few minutes several times a day. I just noticed that my vision starts clearing up a little bit. Doing it once a day. But, well, I didn't start just yesterday, I started a week ago. But I noticed slight, very small, very slight improvement, but it's improvement. We have to understand, since we are creator, why do you do experiment? You do experiment because you have an idea and certain level of understanding, and then you think that because this does that and this does that, if you combine them, this will do this and that. And to verify your beliefs, you make experiment. If this makes a lot of sense to the mind, your experiment becomes positive, and you got it. Oh, fine. This is exactly what I thought is going to happen, because you mix oxygen and hydrogen and you light them and you have explosion and you have energy and drop of water comes down. Yeah, it works. Well, why it happened like this? Because you anticipated it. Because it made sense to you from the knowledge you had. If you did not have this expectation, it would not happen. Very often, we make experiments and something happens that we didn't expect, because that was another possibility that we were not aware of. And then we go, whoa, okay, this is preliminary study. Now let's see how we can use this, how we can abuse it, how we can monetize it. And then you start making Kakai stories around it so that nobody really understands it correctly. And you sell it to a public as a final study. This is how every final study is done. The true study, the true thing is the preliminary stuff. What happened? Okay, this is what happens when you do this and this. The final study is a Kakai story about it. This is how religious books are written. Event happens, okay, how can we make it to serve our story, our manifestation? And there's Kakai stories around it, and everybody gets trapped in these stories and forget actual event, or have completely wrong opinion, wrong conclusion about this event. So stop looking at how much enzymes you are producing and how many hormones and what the levels of hormones are and what the level of this and level of that. It is all secondary. It's a reflection of your current state of mind, your current understanding, and the ego's reality. Yeah, it makes you sick because this is how body is trained, but you can change these, and you can change it without taking supplements, which often you take wrong stuff for wrong thing because you don't understand. Body can do everything for you because everything is vibration, and brain is transducer. It is receiver and emitter. So it can receive frequencies and create your reality, and it can also produce the frequency and create your reality if ego understands how this works. Basically, it's all about frequency. Where it came from doesn't matter, as long as ego uses it for manifestation. And to do so, it has to understand it. Unconditionally believing in it. Faith. So instead of focusing on these chemicals and this analysis, take several times a day. Just calm down. You can listen to some soothing music and start repeating affirmations, but don't repeat them just as repeating. You have to visualize them. You have to be particular. Not only see them as a picture, but also try to catch the smell of them. Taste of them, if there is such a thing. You want a Ferrari, don't just picture it on a street. Picture yourself in it, the smell of a fresh leather, the smell of the engine fumes, the odor of the softness and plushness of the seat. And as close, you have to manifest every frequency of what you are creating. Same is with the health. Oh, I want a healthy body. Well, imagine yourself healthy. If it's hard to do, imagine yourself as you look at a picture when you were healthy. And imagine yourself, okay, this is how I am, not how I was. This is how I am. I am young, I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am energetic. I have full head of hair, beautiful black hair or blonde hair, whatever you want to have, blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes, whatever you want. Think it, see it, try to feel it, try to smell it, try to touch it. The more information you get, the faster you are going to manifest. And always go with done thing. Because if you go, I want, you may want for 100 years and never get there. So never say, oh, I want to be healthy, I want to, never to be. I am that I am. I am healthy. Of course, your ego goes, yeah, but you're not. Don't listen to your ego. Don't be bothered. Focus on what you are creating. And do it multiple times a day. Let me know how you're doing. Okay, so remember, everything what we think and what we know how it works is our interpretation. Science is what we make of it. The truth is completely different. So try to focus on your well-being. Thank you for listening, and I love you. God bless you. Creator blesses you. Consciousness is all around. We are consciousness. Till next time.